This is the BassForecast bait breakdown on the buzzbait and topwater plopper style lures. In this short video, we're gonna cover these 5 topics. Key features, top tips, matching forage, rod, reel, and line, and hook set. Let's start with the key features. There is nothing quite like catching a bass on a buzzbait, so here's how it's built. The buzzbait is built with a very weird shaped wire. The long side of the wire contains a metal head, a skirt, and a hook, and this makes it the bottom side of the lure. The wire comes forward to a bend, which is where you tie your line, and from there the wire leads to a blade that helps keep the bait on the top of the water. This lure can have 1 blade or 2 blades and can also have clackers and beads to help it make noise as it gets retrieved. And there's one more lure that fits in this style of category, and that is your whopper plopper style lures. This is built upon a plastic hollow body and it floats, as opposed to the buzzbait, which sinks. The plopper style bait has a plastic lip that rotates as it's pulled through the water, creating all kinds of commotion. And the reason why we're talking about both of these in this video is because they both fulfill a similar purpose, being topwater baits and making a whole lot of noise and throwing a lot of water. But the buzzbait is relatively weedless and the plopper style is not weedless at all. So if you're fishing around open water, maybe you start with the plopper style, because I always go treble hooks over non-treble hooks to get a better hookup ratio. But if you're fishing around shallow cover, grass, lily pads, wood, always go with the buzzbait. Unlike every other topwater lure, the buzzbait does not float, it sinks, which means it is a constant retrieve lure. If you pause your buzzbait, it's going to sink and no longer be a buzzbait. All you gotta do is find the shallow cover to target cast at, make your cast, and as soon as the bait hits the water, you start your retrieve. I keep my thumb on the spool and my hand close to the handle, so the second that bait hits the water, it is retrieving back to me, making that loud, buzzing, chugging sound. Now, like I mentioned, the plopper style lure is in this category as well, and that one does float, so you're allowed to stop that one anytime next to shallow cover, and that can entice a bass who is following it, sees it stop, and then the next time it begins, that bass strikes. Now, moving on to location, where is the buzzbait best? Well, a buzzbait is designed, its purpose is to be covering water, casting at targets, and presenting itself in front of as many fish as possible, because it's a loud lure, it's obnoxious. If a bass wants to bite it, it's gonna bite it, so covering as much water as possible gives you the best chance at catching fish on the buzzbait. But start with the BassForecast recommended location for today and branch out from there. The buzzbait excels in water from 1 to 3 foot, but can be effective all the way to 6 feet of water. Any deeper, and I would go with a walking topwater bait or not throwing a topwater at all. I don't know what it is about a buzzbait, but fish just love to bite this thing around inclement weather. Nasty, windy, and rainy days when nobody else is on the water is when a buzzbait excels. So get out there and throw a black and blue buzzbait when it's cloudy, and if it's sunny, maybe go a little more natural with white and chartreuse. Now, when it comes to matching the forage with a buzzbait, there's really no bluegills or baitfish or crawfish that make the kind of noise the buzzbait and the plopper style lure makes. You're not really trying to match the hatch per se, but you can pick the right and wrong colors for your watercolor. If the water clarity is low, stick to the contrasty colors, the black and blues, the straight white. And if you have clear water or really good light penetration, go really natural with a little bit of chartreuse. And of course, this applies to both the buzzbait and the plopper style lures, but in all honesty, picking the right color is very low on the list of priorities, as opposed to picking the right sound, the right size, the right presence. Those are all more important with this style of lure than picking the right color. Now, when it comes to the rod, the reel, and the line on a buzzbait, we recommend something a little bit bulkier than you might think. You want a rod that is at least 7 foot in length. I go 7.2 to 7.6 for long casts and good strong hook sets. A fast gear ratio reel. This allows me to cover a ton of water with my buzzbait. And for the fishing line, we recommend 50-pound braid. And the last thing we've got to discuss is the buzzbait's hook set. Because the buzzbait is being retrieved straight back to you, any fish that bites it is most likely going to hook itself. So it doesn't take a strong hook set, but it is a thicker style of hook, so you can get away with a little bit of a strong lean or a strong hook set into that fish, then keep the pressure up, and you're going to land almost every buzzbait bite you get. We hope this video gives you more confidence in using the buzzbait and the plopper so you can adapt to the conditions and catch more bass. And I'll see you guys out on the water.